Is Raye and Huy, and we are the Unscripted Real Artists, and in today's video, we are talking about nothing other than black vampires. As of a few weeks ago, I believe, it was announced that Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan are potentially doing a vampire film together. And me and Hujan are both excited about it because there's not many black vampire films out there that we can count on one hand. Yeah. So we want to see more. We need more.
We do.
Hujan and I are both into vampire films and stuff like that. She wasn't a huge fan of Twilight when it came out.
Oh God.
And when I watched it when I got older, yeah, cringe. But having a vampire that glitters, that has just body shimmer like he's Rihanna, is comical.
No.
But he's not supposed to be looking like
a 2-bit stripper, okay?
But my whole thing is, he's not supposed to be shimmering and glittering and glistening and all that stuff like he's one of those rare Pokemon holographic
like he's a disco ball with legs,
you know. That
this is not what Rihanna had in mind when she said shine bright like a diamond.
Hello? So for me, the last couple black vampire films we had were Blade, Vampire in Brooklyn, and I think that's it from what I remember.
Mind you, this is off the dome.
That I've seen.
Y'all, off the dome.
Yeah, this is off the dome.
And those,
this is totally off the dome.
Even if there are other vampire films, those are the ones that most people would remember, if anything. If there are other black vampire films, those are the ones that most people would remember. That would be the ones that most people have seen. Not just outside, not just within the black community, but outside of the black community, especially with Blade being as iconic as it is, being literally like the beginnings of the comic book movie phase, you know? So, yeah.
I just feel like it's a step in the right direction because it's been quite some time. It's been a very long time since we've had a movie that's gonna be like impactful like this. Like, we had to do it. We had to remind folks, and we have to remind folks all the time in different genres, how black people shine out here in these streets,
and we
dominate the genre.
We exist, and it's just like, and it also brings into mind the whole fantasy genre, you know, where you know, oftentimes in fantasy genres we don't see ourselves as if, you know, it's impossible, and it's just like it's totally possible for, you know, for there to be black fae or black mythological creatures of any different kind, because they're exactly that. They're myths, you know. You could have black elves, you know. If that is the intent there, you could have black vampires, and vampires especially has a lot more leniency with the lore, because anybody could become a vampire, literally anyone.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
My hopes for it though is that they don't do something crazy like Twilight, you know. Number one. Number two, I know because it has Ryan Coogler at the helm and Michael B. Jordan, we ain't gonna get pasty vampires like casket ready vampires like in Twilight, because they did my boy dirty. Okay, you could have made him pale, why him look ashy?
Right.
I don't remember the character's
Right.
name, but he looked ashy. There's a way to make people look pale without making them look ashy.
I know exactly who you talk about. Yeah.
And I know they're gonna do it justice because apparently, allegedly, it's supposed to take place in New Orleans, which
Hey.
that works, especially
That's
considering
lit.
there's so much lore around New Orleans and superstition around New Orleans that you could go bonkers with it. Okay? You can go crazy with it. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I hope they go full Monty with it. With the vampire lore. Not some like, you know, Twilight-esque thing, but like Buffy the Vampire Slayer type stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
like
but
we
that's
don't
what I'm
necessarily
hoping
have to
that
get
they
into
do.
the ugly vampire thing. We could, if they want to do that, that's cool too. I'm here for it either way, because
Right.
you know, I like that aspect of Buffy the Vampire Slayer where they have their regular human face, but then they have their vampire face, and it's kind of ugly. And it's just like, only a face only a mother could love. You feel me? And I'd be here for it if they did that. You know, if they went full to that extent. You know?
Because I was gonna say that too. Like, I want them to go like full Buffy, Angel, like just like that whole era of how they had their vampires look and all that stuff. It fit the realism of what you would think a freaking vampire would look like, even if they went like From Dusk Till Dawn. I don't know how many of you have seen that movie, but it's iconic. Okay,
I haven't seen it. She's been trying to get me to watch it. Though. She's been thinking about making me watch it.
Girl, it's hilarious and it's crazy. It's a wild ride. But like even though it's the same thing, same kind of concept of like with with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. With them transforming and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But like I need them to keep that, you know what I'm saying? That kind of realism if it were a real thing, like if vampires were to live among us and stuff like that. You want to kind of keep like some aspects of that realism. And not do it to where it's like
where it doesn't make sense.
Very cartoonish. Yeah, very cartoonish where it's like, and it's no shade to Twilight because I watched the whole saga, you know what I'm saying? And it was a time when I was in that, you know, era or whatever. I was going crazy like all the other girls. Not over Edward. It was Team Jacob, period.
I was not a Twihard, but Team Jacob, for sure. Okay?
Because I was here for the werewolves. I was here for the werewolves.
He'll keep you warm at night.
But at the same time, so dumb. But
I don't mean it like that, by the way. I meant it like a plush toy kind of thing. You know people
gonna take it. You know they're gonna take it there. But anyways, no, like I need them to have like capture that essence. You know, like I said before, that realism. You know. But I know they will because, again, when you are heavily into like your comic anime bag and you know
that's a good point,
that you don't want it to you want it to appeal to a different audience where it's like, if I'm gonna go full Gojo with the look of this vampire, ooh, that would be a look.
You mean like the white hair and everything?
Yeah, like if I'm gonna like if you literally like stack up a character where it's like, okay, profile. If I have a black character dressed like this anime or adapt the behaviors of this anime character, blah blah, I would model it after said character. You know what I'm saying? Because we know who we dealing with.
But also,
when you're
can you imagine the aesthetics?
Go ahead.
Cause let's be real. Cause anytime we see somebody cosplay a character with white hair that's melanated, that killing the game.
Fire.
Killing the game every time, okay? They killing the game. Fire, okay? Fire.
Look at Halle
That's
Berry
why they always
as
in
Storm.
anime, they always got the brown skin and the white hair combo, okay? They may not be dark skinned, but they brown. Cause it looks good. It looks fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah. So, like, to be honest though, like, it would be ideal to have somebody with an eye and mind like Michael B. Jordan to do something like this.
Right.
Because he's heavily into, you know, he's heavily into the anime.
Let's keep it a book. He's kind of a nerd.
Genre as a whole.
He's kind of a nerd. A geek.
It's not even a kind of thing.
Nerd. More like
not
geek,
even a kind of thing.
As they call it. He's a geek. Let's keep it straight. Let's keep it 100. But that's gonna make it all the more better for it because he has a wide knowledge base to work from. Whereas somebody who's not into this sort of thing, they're not gonna be able to do as much, you know, without having the knowledge base that they do. Because, like, I'm pretty sure Ryan Coogler has great ideas, like, you know. So you have somebody who's into anime, into comics, somebody also that's into anime comics. I don't know if he's necessarily into anime. Ryan Coogler, I don't know, I can't testify, but you know,
right,
he seems like he might be at least familiar with the comic books type stuff, you know, and at some level. So, and then on top of that, you have somebody who is a visionary. We know that he's a visionary. We've seen what he's done with Black Panther, you know, with the visuals. So they gonna nail the visuals. Then they're gonna nail the lore. Time. Like, I feel like, am I being overconfident in them? Maybe, but I feel it in my spirit that they're gonna bring us something wonderful.
I wouldn't say you're being overconfident. It's because you trust the artist. It's not even being overly confident because you know what they're capable of doing and you know that they're capable of achieving a lot. Because trust me, they may very well pull off something that we didn't even see coming. You know what I'm saying? Something like outside of our own imaginations.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When creating this. So, two brilliant people working together. I am just going to just be in there, eat my popcorn like a Michael Jackson in Thriller. Okay? Smile and eat a popcorn.
Right. That's
it.
Clearly,
I feel like it's gonna be great.
Clearly, it's not just us that has some level of faith in the project, because allegedly there was a whole bidding war over this project, like among different companies. And I believe it's WB that managed to get the final bid on the project. And I'm just like, they really have some faith in this thing. I mean, it could possibly be due to the names that are attached to it, i.e. Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan. But I don't doubt that you know, that they actually have something great on their hands.
Right. I feel like honestly they could have did it themselves. That's just me.
And then on top of that, it's a period piece too. Apparently, from what I've heard, it's supposed to be like kind of like a period piece kind of thing. So I'm wondering, like, what era of New Orleans are they going to use? Because are they gonna go the full?
If they go 1800s, it'll be crazy.
Cause like if they
go 1800s.
Cause I don't know how far back they're gonna go. Because are they gonna go back to when New Orleans was part of France, was under French rule, or are they gonna stick with like the U.S. situation? Like, how far back are they gonna go? You know, because then that's gonna give some other extra things in there, you know? Are you going to
Right.
touch on slavery, or are you going to touch on the whole like voodoo culture there? Are you going to mix some of that stuff in there? You know? Like what are you going to like what bits and pieces are you going to take from New Orleans culturally and like mythically, you know? I'm just
Hmm.
really interested in seeing how they're going to do that. Are they going to do are they even going to do an origin story, so to speak? Like what is the world building going to be like? Because are you going to divert from the usual vampire tropes? Like how are you going to twist it? How are you going to change it? How are you going to make your mark on the whole vampire myth and lore, you know?
Because my thing is, if you take it from the perspective of what what they've done with Black Panther, right?
Mm,
How they took the first several comic books and said, boom, okay, this is our story. You know what
mm-hmm.
I'm saying? This is the character we're modeling after, blah, blah, blah. Right now, they have an empty platform.
Right.
Then there's the history of New Orleans, there's a history of vampires, and then what they're trying to make up.
Right. Bridging what they can bridge the
You
gaps with.
you
Yeah.
put that in a nice little vat of sugar and spice, everything
With
nice and
seasoning.
black.
With seasoning. Cause you know, we gotta
Okay,
put seasoning on
with some
on
with some
everything.
with some Old Bay
Hello.
and all the Creole
Hello.
seasonings
All the
you could
Cajun
think
seasonings,
of,
everything. Okay.
and a couple crawfish.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? A couple drops of blood. I ain't partaking in that, but a couple drops of blood. And
Because of the
bada bing, bada
vampires. Because of the
boom.
vampires, of course.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Bada bing, bada boom.
And then poof.
You have a masterpiece.
Right.
But I just feel like whatever they bring to the table is gonna be authentic. It's gonna be refreshing because we need, like, again, like I said originally in the first couple seconds of this video, they're gonna do something that's a breath of fresh air because we need something new. We're tired of seeing the same stuff be copied and pasted over and over again,
Right.
because mugs don't want to spend money.
Right. Because mugs aren't willing to take the risk. That's the problem. A lot of these studios are not willing to take the risk. And I'm glad that we have these two people collabing,
Yeah.
in order to be able to get the execs out of their whole we're not taking a risk situation, and them actually being like, all right, we got this name, we got that name, let's do this.
Right. Because I want them to step out of the box and actually take a chance. I'm tired of seeing the remakes. No shade to nobody that's doing the remakes, but it's only so many times I want to see somebody walking across the yellow brick road. Let's be real.
Hello.
If we keep seeing the same thing over and over again, it doesn't matter if it's a black face on the cover, an Asian face on the cover, a native face on the cover. If it's not a brand new story, it's still the same story.
Right.
Yes, we're embracing whomever is on the face of this new, rebranded character. However, it's still the same plot, still the same storyline. We would like to see stuff that's different, something that's going to literally shake the world and industry.
And it's like, because
we'd very much appreciate if it was more authentic stories out there, something new out there. Please and thank you. Hire young writers. Stop recycling. At this part, I'm throwing shit.
Can we hand out the canes to ones that need the canes and boot them to the side? Send them to the retirement home, please. Because
honestly, if you know, because to be honest, Fusion, if you really think about it, if you have and this is literally, I have to say this, If you know that you have one of the biggest and largest production companies out there, and you have accumulated so much money from doing the very thing that you know young people are out here trying to do, hire the young people.
Right.
To then help you continue that legacy. And so they can start theirs. And we can get some new stuff out here.
New stuff and new
Because if we don't have any new things out here, and it's just this recycled stuff, people are going to be uninterested in what we got going on.
Right.
They're going to be uninterested.
Facts.
And it's going to suck for the people that's coming in the door, like you and I, like all the other young kids and teens and adults out there. Everybody that's trying to come in the industry. It's a harder time trying to create something that's authentic in whatever, when you got mugs that's winning awards based off of remakes.
Based off of
and
remakes,
it's no shade to anybody that's like doing remakes, but we're tired of seeing it.
Because like you're not doing any world building, you're not being creative in any way, because the world is already established. The universe of that story is already established. So it's like, you know, what are you really getting credit for at that point?
Right.
You're just adding on. It's kind of like a landlord. How the landlord special, that's what it is basically. It's a landlord special. It's I'm painting over everything. Is there mold up in the corner and on the ceiling? Yeah, I can see it. I can see the mold. We can see the water damage. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take that same bland white paint and just paint over that bad boy. Oh, is there a roach in the cabinet? Is there a roach? I ain't gonna move it. I'm gonna paint over it. Landlord special.
Or get some Raye.
No, because I'm saying that because I've literally seen a video, a picture of a landlord special. And it was a dead cockroach. And they paint instead of taking the cockroach out of the cabinet, they painted over it. Why?
Trifling.
Why? How hard was it to take a piece of paper towel and just sorry, that's so off
that is
topic, but still
gross and crazy.
Still relevant, because that's what we're basically getting is the landlord special, things just being repackaged for a younger audience. And it's just like, you're not doing anything new. You're not changing it up at all. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about stuff that's directed at kids, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or stuff like that. Like, the kids love those certain things because, well, they're appealing, which, again, this callback to TMNT, Mutant Mayhem, they did a really good job with that, because it wasn't just a pure repackage of here, same story. They had their own twist to it, to appeal to the younger audience.
Yeah.
But with these stories, it's basically just copy paste. Let's put in new faces in the characters thing. How are you actually twisting those stories? Because we all know that there's a certain formula to a good story, right? We know that there are certain plot stuffs that occur, that is standard in every story, right? But how are you going to twist and turn those things, Like, you have the hero's journey, like, there's tons of stories that are a hero's journey. Take Percy Jackson and the Olympians, hero's journey. Harry Potter is a hero's journey, right? Hero's journey usually has some kind of prophecy, or, whatever of this character, or this character has this predestined role, right? Amari and the Night Brothers. It's not a movie, but it's a book. I hope it turns into a movie eventually, because the book is good. Okay,
Oh my God, this girl in this book, y'all.
Girl, I love this book. By the way, the third book is about to come out, and I can't wait. It's on pre-order right now. BB Alston did a wonderful job with these books. Okay, shout outs. Anyway, again, that is another example of a hero's journey, right? Usually it's a character from Superman. hero's journey, right? Small town, whatever, right? Unknown person that just suddenly is thrust into the spotlight because of their predestined role, right? As some form of hero, some sort of savior, or whatever. But like, how are you gonna twist and turn it to make it uniquely yours? You know?
Right.
They're not. Nobody's really thinking about those things because they're not trying to take the risk of, you know, experimenting and stuff like that. They just want to. They knew what works for this popular franchise, and they're just rehashing it over and over and over again because they feel like that's just going to keep the mill going of input money, output money, we get back money, big money, and just have that continuous cycle. But at some point, it's kind of like AI, how the AI generators at some point, when they start continuously being fed more AI stuff from their data set, it's just going to spit out basura because what's coming in is not what it needs to continue to produce quality. You feel me?
But that's why I said what I said in the before you gave your examples and such.
I'm sorry.
That's why I said what I said.
Right.
Because that's it. No, you good. Because that's exactly what I mean. Like, if we keep getting the same stuff back, it's gonna be a complete drawback to audiences everywhere. Nobody's gonna want to go to see movies anymore.
Right.
Nobody, because that's literally what's going to start happening. It's gonna literally be like, you might as well put your movie on a streaming service. And
I'd argue that that's already starting to happen now, because that's why they're blaming millennials for the film industry starting to fail. And it's just like, Gen Z is watching the 24 episodes of old shows from the 2000s because they're good shows.
Yeah.
And there's no risk of their show being canceled on the fly, right? And it's long form show, so it's well written for the entire season. And you don't have like this 10 episode season of a show that you don't know if it's gonna get another season or not, because of the time the whole streaming platform format. And it's just like, y'all, clearly the streaming service is not working out like you thought. It's not, because y'all losing at this point. Right. You're losing.
Right. But if they just need to go back to the times where they had that formula in the 2000s. That's what they just need to model off of. Authenticity, originality, keeping it fresh and hip for the kids.
Exactly.
I know I sound old, but basically keeping it to where people will actually enjoy film and television again.
Right.
But that's why we have people that are just breaking into the industry now that are trying to change the game. They're not trying to do remakes no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We need to get that 2000s feeling back, early 2000s feeling back in the industry as a whole. Because what they coming up now, I don't want to see no more Frankenstein revamps and all of this stuff. It's been done. We don't need to do it again.
Yeah, that, oh gosh.
Because they're bringing that back.
I know, like, and I understand the whole Frankenstein thing, right? Like, we have a, it seems like it's supposed to be like a feminist take on Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster, right? Which, okay, fine. But you can take the themes, and this is why everything sucks right now, because media literacy is dead and just literacy is dead, because it's understanding the themes of a story and not just saying, hey, let's What if Frankenstein was a woman? What if she had a JJ instead of a, you know, like,
right?
That's basically what you're saying. And what if it's basically that circle jerk that we talked about, right? Where it's just like, hey, I have an idea. Why not? Let's just take the Frankenstein story and make her a woman. What if she was a woman? What if it took place in the 1980s? And it's just like, but it's the same story. It's the same story.
Yeah.
What about you're just thinking surface level. It's so superficial at that point because you're not thinking about the deeper themes of the story. If you're not thinking about the deeper themes of the story and what you're trying to do with the story, that's why people aren't interested, because you're not touching their hearts, you're not touching their souls and their spirits, okay?
Facts.
That's what makes a good story. The heart of the story. And you're not giving it heart because you're just, again, doing the landlord special, repainting it, painting over it,
right,
and saying, oh yeah, this is new. Even though we can still smell the smell of wet paint.
And wet dog.
Hello.
And mold. And sewage juice in the bag.
But to bring it back around, I hope and I know that this project, that this vampire film that Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan are doing is going to be a success. Okay, it's going to be interesting. Yeah. It's going to be new, and not for self promo, but if any one of y'all see this, and you need a writer or not writer, but writers, y'all need writers. Holla at your girls, cause we know what we talking about. Y'all may not think it, but we know what we talking about. And if you need to employ us, right, cause y'all need us.
For real.
Hit us up. DMs.
But, y'all can slide it in DMs.
Professionally, of course.
You know what I'm saying? Professionally. Y'all can slide it in DMs. Or whatever. Because that would be great. Yeah, we just hope that this film is going to be freaking amazing, which we know that it will be. Because, come on, it's Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan. They know what they're doing. They should, at least, anyway. And whoever is supposed to be working alongside them, helping them piece together this whole vampire period piece, yeah, y'all just do y'all homework and you got it.
Right.
Come up with fresh ideas and you got it. We want to see something new. We want to see something fresh. We don't want the landlord special with the band-aid on it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Not the landlord special, y'all. We ain't doing it.
But yeah, I hope you guys like this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna see y'all in another video.
Peace.
Peace.